all the man has been the victim. We exclude the children.
Folks are trying to study the underlying brain mechanism to figure out how does this particular disorder happen in the brain? How is the brain processing this?
Don't worry about AI, worry about humans working with AI.
Are you willing to learn new skills to stay relevant for the future job market? That's the challenge that people are going to struggle with.
Money is something we all deal with, but how many of us truly understand it? What if you could make better decisions with your money? Decisions that secure your future, protect your family, and bring you peace of mind. I'm Darren Jacobs, and I'm here to help you make sense of your dollars. Welcome to Dollars and Cents, the show that breaks down the financial world in ways that matter to you. No jargon, no confusion, just real conversations about money, your money. So join me every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on WESN for Dollars and Cents.
The home of Caribbean content is growing, and we welcome you to be a part of the #1 platform for young personalities who are driven to make a positive impact in society. As we continue to reach every corner of Trinidad and Tobago through our daily broadcasts, our social media pages, or through our 75+ digital billboards across the nation, contact us to learn about our competitive rates via marketing at wesncc.com or call us at 628-5835. WESN Content Capital, television with a difference.
WESN.
Good morning and welcome to AM Prime on WESN. I am Takia Thompson, your host for our Throwback Thursday show. This morning we address one of the most pressing situations many citizens have shared their concerns about. In our Tech Evolution segment, we'd like to discuss whether or not AI in the workforce is transforming roles or creating new opportunities. As artificial intelligence becomes more embedded in every business operations, the conversation around work is rapidly shifting. While some fear widespread job losses, others argue that AI is simply assisting in everyday tasks. But in a region like Trinidad and Tobago, where many young professionals are just entering the workforce, the big question remains: are we prepared for this shift? Digital consultant Nigel Toussaint joins us this morning to help answer some questions. Good morning, Nigel.
Good morning, Takia, and to the great public, welcome.
Now, from your perspective, Nigel, can you tell us how significantly AI is already changing the workforce place today?
AI, the main message I want to get today is that that I want to give out is that AI is changing how we work. It is not just eliminating the work, but it is changing how we work. And the biggest risk is not AI itself, it has been unprepared for that transition. That's one of the main messages I want to bring out today.
And now, would you say the fear around job losses is being exaggerated, or are we underestimating the impact that it can actually have?
Okay, the reality is that AI, it is already affecting a lot of the jobs. People are seeing it. It's there. When we talk about customer service, administration, banking, the media, marketing, retail, and even public services jobs, it is affecting it. The fear is partly real and partly exaggerated. AI will likely replace some repetitive jobs. It will change many existing jobs. Right? It will change a lot of existing jobs, and we're already seeing that it's changing how people work with respect to email drafting, scheduling, reporting, and all these things. But the nice thing is, the good news is, it will also create entirely new jobs. And if you look at history, it shows that technology changes employment patterns rather than ending work altogether. So the real concern is, will workers have enough time and support to adapt?
And now, you mentioned some jobs there just now. Can you tell us which jobs right now may be most vulnerable to AI and why? You started, but just to elaborate some more on that.
Okay, jobs involving repetitive administrative tasks,
Right.
filing, predictable data processing, like data entry jobs, instead of just putting it on the form and putting it into the computer itself, those jobs will be a threat. Basic customer support, you find call centers, these may be a threat because the AI can do all that already. And there's the simple content generation. That is simple content generation, you can lose that, and routine clerical work. Those will be, for example, data entry, transcription, basic bookkeeping, and some, as I mentioned, call center roles.
Right. So is it that you can say that, again, these level entry roles are the ones that may be targeted, but the ones that are more in our experienced professional, there may not be any risk attached to it? Or what can you tell us for that?
Well, entry-level jobs, they're the front line with respect to risk. But even the experienced professionals, they are seeing that effect from AI.
Right.
Not to say that will replace them completely, but they will have to learn AI and know how to use that tool. For example, law. They help with research and all these things. The lawyers will be more efficient if they learn to use the AI properly. Accounting as well, there are accounting AIs that assist with accounting to make that job more efficient. Right. Where someone may have taken a day or two to do something, only a couple of hours. So that accountant who has mastered AI and the tools that goes with it will have that edge compared to an accountant that has no idea about AI at all or cannot use it efficiently. Journalism, as we discussed previously.
Yes.
Journalism, right? You have that edge with respect to other journalists if you can master that tool, and software development as well. We understand that AI now can understand our language. Usually, the other languages like Python and stuff, and Java, and these other languages that the computers use, but AI now it can do that programming. So software developers, they can use that enhanced tool to get their job done much more efficiently. Finance in the banking sector, realize when you go to the bank, there are not as much workers in the bank. So having that grasp of AI may prevent you from going on the breadline. And marketing, now digital marketing is at an all-time high in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
So that has already enhanced enhance that market as well.
Right. And now, on the flip side of things, what new roles or career paths are emerging because of AI? Can you share on this?
Sure. Banking and finance, as I mentioned just now, there are a lot of, we saw the ATM has changed banking. There's more advanced features as well. Now we have online banking, and there's some AI applications there. There will also be governance of the AI, because to use it ethically and to make sure that there is accuracy and some sort of control there. Industries such as media as well, customer service, even retail, where like stock taking and all these things will be done by the AI. So people into retail should really get familiar with the AI. That business that has that grasp on AI and is using AI to do their inventory will always have that edge. AI will be able to let you know where your where you're going with respect to your logistics and everything.
Right.
We also see where some companies, they have that card where that card is actually sharing your information, your data, and now there are the data marketers as well who give that data to other companies so they can track how you shop and know what the customers are looking for. I just want to mention as well education.
Yeah.
In a big way, even schools, you see a lot of students are using AI. Sometimes some people overuse it, and there are problems right now with respect to that. But educators as well can use it to do lesson plans, where they are taking a day or two to do lesson plans a few hours.
Right. And now, what kind of skills are becoming more valuable in this new environment?
Well, skills like what my company do, tech security solutions. We assist with training people with AI, auditing AI as well, because there must be some sort of control and policies. Know that as I mentioned last time I was here, the government is in the process of making policies in governing AI within the country. Cybersecurity specialists as well, because with the AI there are added security risk. More AI use, the bigger the risk. So of course there will be a need for cybersecurity specialists, data analysts as well, people who can analyze that data, let you know exactly what is going on. There will be that job as well. So you see, it's creating a lot of new jobs. Digital verification experts, people to make sure that this person, you have reverse imaging and all these things, the apps and AIs that deals with that, to make sure that this is actually that person.
Right.
AI expert consultants and automation managers as well. So there are a lot of opportunities, but just the training that people have to get and skills that will lead them to that new era that's coming.
Yeah, definitely. I like how you mentioned that it is really the learning and adapting to these skills now. Now, would you say young people or young professionals that are entering the force, they are being properly prepared for an AI-driven workplace?
If they're prepared, well, to be honest, we see that there is a lot of need for a restructuring of the curriculum, so to speak.
Right.
Because the education system, it needs AI literacy. They need to teach that digital ethics, some sort of exposure to coding. They have to adapt fast enough to that. Media literacy, problem solving, and entrepreneurship training as well. Students should learn how to work alongside AI responsibly as well.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of complaints about students having the AI right the thesis, write their schoolwork, but the schools may need to teach the young people how to use it responsibly, and that can help with that problem.
So then, do you think schools and even universities are doing enough to adapt to the shift and teach their students?
Not, from what I see so far, not fully. Many young people will still learn memorization, memorization, exams, and fixed procedures. You know, I came from an era that you have to memorize a lot of things.
Yeah.
And that, you don't really need that anymore because the AI, that information is available, readily available. You know, they have to create programs that teaches adaptability, continuous learning, and digital competence as well. So there may be some restructuring.
And now
there may be some restructuring as well.
Yeah, and with companies, right? Companies investing, would you say they're investing in retraining employees in these things, or learning more towards replacements for person who already have these skills?
But some are. But many businesses, and not only Trinidad but globally, are still focused more on efficiency than retraining. It's all about retraining. That creates a challenge for governments, businesses, and educational institutions to work together. But they should focus more on retraining people.
And what should a young person entering the workforce today be focusing on to stay relevant in these times?
Learn technology. Learn technology. But obviously, young people seem to catch on to technology faster than people of my era, you know, but learn it. Communication skills. And it's not that. I was going down a field of social science, and 5 years ago I switched to technology. So if I can do it at my stage, young people can surely do it as well. But that communication skill, you can beat AI with respect to that, because you get that human touch. So learn to communicate. Adaptability as well. Young people should focus on that. Being able to adapt, learn, be willing to learn. Networking is so important. Get to meet people. Get to understand digital tools. Use those tools, get familiar with it. It's like driving. You get better when you use it, when you actually do it. Have that human creativity. And what I love about Trinidadians, we are creative people. And have a spirit of lifelong learning. A degree alone is no longer enough. You have to have these skills to really go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Now, what is one misconception people have about AI and jobs that needs to be corrected?
I think, very good question. I think the biggest misconception is that AI will replace everyone. You know, as though people expect that you're doing a job and a robot will come next to you and just say, excuse me, I'm your replacement, stuff like this. It's not like that, you know. AI will not replace everyone. In reality, people who know how to use AI effectively may replace people who don't. AI is most likely to transform jobs rather than eliminate all work.
And to touch more on what you said lastly there, and to answer the question once and for all in a sense, is AI more likely to widen unemployment gaps or create new economic opportunities?
I think it will create new economic opportunities. You see, the whole thing is being ready for that change, preparing yourself, getting to learn the changes, and get ready for that change. In history, we see where technology have not replaced people, they have not eliminated jobs, but it created new jobs. The print and press and all these other things. Just change the dynamics. They just change the dynamics. Computers, people thought when computers came in that it would replace jobs, they just change the dynamic of the job. So it's all about learning and how much time. The only difference is that AI is changing the world fast. That technology is going leaps and bounds. So the difference is the pace. How much time that you have, and it's not much time.
Now, from when it's officially kicked off to now, would you say there's like a big difference in terms of how we utilize AI and how we enforce it in the workplace?
Is there a big difference? It depends on what you do in the AI. You know, but I think what is happening is that a lot of young people, they're at home, they have AI.
Yeah.
Going to work in their vehicle, they're using AI, but when they reach out the job, all technology is gone. And then they going home, technology again, reach home technology. So the job have to be catching up to implement the AI. It's all about the mindset. My observation is that some jobs, they seem to want to stay in that traditional sense. They trust that, that's what they know. But businesses themselves will feel that strain when other companies who hold on to the new technology, to AI, embrace it, and keep it, work it within their job, within their business to improve efficiency, and in that way being able to meet the consumers at a much higher standard and level. So there will be that issue. That there will be that issue, but the companies have to keep up.
Yeah, definitely. Now, thank you, Nigel, for joining us this morning and being a part of the conversation. Are there any final words you'd like to leave with the viewers this morning pertaining to AI in the work fields?
Well, I want to say that the danger is not artificial intelligence itself. The danger is being unprepared for that change. So prepare yourself, get in line, and learn the technology, learn that whatever field you're interested in, find the tools that applies to that field, master it, and you will have that edge on others.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that and even wanting to come on and be a part of shedding light to conversations like this and letting us know that AI is not coming to steal your job, but you need to be prepared for the time shift that is coming ahead. And it's really important that we can have these conversations. So again, thank you so much for being a part of this morning's conversation. Guys, we are about to take a short break. When we come back, we have more engaging conversations, so stay with us.
Maybe he landed here totally by coincidence. But if by chance he's admiring your fresh coat of Benjamin Moore soft sky blue, well, that's a pretty high compliment. Coming from an expert.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
Hi, I am Emiliana Beechan and I am a mental health and conflict resolution consultant. Welcome to Mind Matters, the show where we explore the intricate world of mental health and the art of conflict resolution. Join us as we hear from mental health professionals, conflict resolution experts, and everyday people who have transformed their lives through understanding and communication. Mind Matters, WESN Content Capital.
Welcome back. As families across the country prepare to celebrate Mother's Day, we turn our focus to a group of women in our Thriving Today segment, whose journey into motherhood often comes with unique challenges: single mothers. From balancing financing to raising children on their own, their experiences highlight both resilience and the need for stronger support systems. Today, we speak with a representative from the Single Mothers Association, Danelle Joseph, to explore the realities, the misconceptions, and what more can be done to uplift single mothers in our society. Good morning, Danelle.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Now, Danelle, from your experience, what does motherhood look like for a single mother today?
So motherhood is multifaceted. It stems from preparing for children. It comes from providing for children, also not having real time off. Sometimes you would see that mothers are in survival mode because, you know, we have work, we have to balance work, we have to balance children needs, we have to balance finances, we also have to show up when, you know, we don't have support systems. So as a mother, we don't necessarily have the time off. We don't necessarily have the break that we would need. However, motherhood is not to say, we would not like to say motherhood is a drag or it is inconvenience. It is a joy, right? However, you know, again, we have to balance. It's multifaceted. There is highs, there are lows. That's what motherhood is.
Yeah, thank you for that. And now, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges single mothers are currently facing today?
So, you know, we would like to say, it's easy to say finances, lack of support, community support, etc. for single mothers. However, I would like to focus on lack of mental needs. So, for instance, there may be children who are facing trauma or having to face stuff that would trigger their mental capacity in a bit. As mothers, we tend to find it difficult to seek support for our children and for us, because we would like to know that as a mother, we are there supporting or providing for our children holistically, which would include mental support, emotional support, etc. But being in society, not being aware of what provisions are in place for the mental need for our children and for ourselves, that's a major challenge that we face. If they are available, we're not aware. If they are available, we may have to pay an exorbitant fee. And again, a challenge for us as single mothers are finances. I'm not saying that all our single mothers are financially strapped, but let's be real, the average single mother on a day-to-day basis have to watch every bit of income that comes into the household, ensure that it is stretched adequately for all children, ensure that all the bills are paid. And so having this circumstance where you know your child needs that additional help, needs that additional support, not being able to provide it is one of our major challenge as single mothers.
Wow. Yeah. And now there are many stereotypes surrounding single mothers. What are some of the most harmful or inaccurate ones that you can point out?
Sometimes we get labeled as wanting handouts or wanting sympathy. Sometimes we are told that we made bad choices. You know, there was a statement that was made in the airspace recently. Women need to choose their men wisely. Sometimes that necessarily isn't the issue, you know. That necessarily isn't the issue. It's sometimes circumstances happen. That would require you to be a single mother, that would plummet you into single motherhood. So making bad choices, looking for handouts, you know, or she begging, or another one is the children, because the children come from a single mother home. They are troublesome, or they are not destined for greatness. Sometimes we ignore the success stories of single mother households to focus, because it's easy to focus on the negatives. So those are stereotypes that as single mothers we have to endure and to combat, and to ensure that our children are not subjected to such negative stereotypes.
Yeah. Now, would you say these perceptions affect or impact both mother and children, but more so likely, how do they impact from a mother's standpoint in terms of looking at your child and seeing how they may be able to deal with something like this happening? Can you share with us on
Definitely.
That?
Definitely. In the school space, you would see it as bullying. Some children would bully other children because they are not fortunate. Say, for example, and I could only speak from my experience. I remember growing up, my mother was not able to provide adequately as much as I would like. Let me just say. So, you know, you would have field trips coming up, you would have events, you would have church activities, you would have various things that you would like to participate in as a child. However, because it's not me alone, I'm the firstborn, so you know, I'm the sacrificial lamb, honorable sacrificial lamb, I have to consider, I have a brother who needs a shoe. I have a brother who needs, he's asthmatic, so he may need assistance to go to the hospital, he may need a pump. I would not be able to, a simple thing as a jersey for an event, I would not be able to have that. Why? Because my mother is unable to provide it due to a redirection of funds, due to a redirection of focus, and her having to do it all alone. So yes, it does impact the child negatively. And then too, as a mother, you don't like to know that your child feels left out. You don't like to know that your child feels as though he or she cannot enjoy their childhood. So you feel that level of guilt. You feel that level of, as a mother, you feel that level of not being adequate enough for your child. And then on the child point of view, you feel less than. You feel as though you are not included, and then other children would see it, and other children would poke fun. Oh, look at you, you can't do this. Look at you, you can't do that. You know, so it's balanced. Both child and mother do suffer from these negative impacts as a single mother. Now, again, I don't want it to seem as though it's only a negative array for single mothers. There are single mothers who are able to provide adequately for their children, and they may not have to experience such feelings. But majority, because single mothers make up majority of the population, majority of the children, majority of the mothers, they feel that way, that there's a stigma due to being a single mother or being in a single mother household.
Yeah. Now, many single mothers, they have a lot of roles to play, multiple roles, as you started off. So provider, caregiver, mentor. How would you say they go about managing this balance, or trying to maintain that steady level at going at everything? So can you dive into this a bit with me?
Sure. Believe it or not, survival mode. As a lot of mothers operate in a survival mode, we tend to ignore the impending duties because we are in survival mode. We know this is what has to be done, and we're doing it. So that's how we manage multiple roles. It just comes just like that. Okay, the child fell down. They need emotional support because they're crying. They have to see about if it is they're injured, what needs to be done. Have to carry them to the hospital. So they're on autopilot, you should say. Yeah. Also, again, the guilt. Sometimes some mothers feel guilty. They feel guilty for knowing that this is what their child have to go through. This is what they have to go through in society. Some mothers feel as though their only purpose is tied to their children, not understanding that they are individuals as well with needs. And so they feel as though their only sense of purpose is tied to being a mother only. So they lack that sense of individuality sometimes, and it's just what it is. Sometimes as mothers, it is just what it is. However, we have to ensure that mothers, especially at SMAT, we try to ensure mothers are aware that they matter too. They, as an individual, as a person, they matter too. So it comes in with in the form of having our birthday club, celebrating. A lot of mothers don't celebrate their birthday because they're focusing on celebrating their child's birthday. Yeah. Right? So managing the roles, managing the multiple roles, I would like to say in a nutshell, is just on survival mode, on autopilot.
Yeah. Now, what are some of the common concerns single mothers may have when it comes to raising their children?
A lot of concerns that we face are feeling as though we are not good enough for our children. We feel guilty that we don't have enough time. A lot of mothers, because they have to provide, they have to get jobs that would be able to provide adequate funds for their family. And that would look like spending a lot of time away from home. And so having to spend a lot of time away from home, it means that the children, due to a lack of community, the children are left to their own devices. And then we're seeing that children now, because they're lonely, because they're not getting the attention, they end up seeking alternative distractions. So a lot of fears mothers face is, am I doing enough? And even if it is, I am doing enough because I know I'm providing one need, there are other needs that are being ignored. Right. You remember, children need that holistic support. Yes. So yes, finances are important, and a lot of mothers, we focus on that. I need to provide for the child. I need to provide the money for the child. Sometimes we're not considering that the child need the presence, the child need that emotional support, the child need that mental support. Sometimes the child need the academic support by just being there to help with their homework and whatnot. Another thing is we fear the long-term effects of our absences, you know. So the mental strain is on us. Again, we feel as though we're not doing enough on our child's behalf.
And now, how can society better support children growing up in single-parent households?
You know, long time. Well, good. I don't want to show my age. Long time we used to say it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
Yeah. And usually, long time I would remember. You could go by uncle down the road to get a cup of salt. You could go by this person down the road to get a piece of sugar. Or if it is mommy has to go out the road to come back, stay by Auntie Joan. You know, that kind of way. Yeah. We're not seeing that now. We're seeing everybody busy. Everybody has something to do. Everybody has their own self to see about, which we cannot fault anyone for. But I believe that we need to bring back that sense of community for children. The saying is true, it takes a village to raise a child. And then as mothers, we also need to be lenient. I'm not saying to be totally dependent, because there are a lot of ills outside. There are a lot of harms outside. However, you have to be aware of your surroundings, of your circle. You have to be cognizant of who you can trust and give yourself that opportunity to have a community. So society needs to bring back the sense of community. Mothers need to also allow themselves to appreciate the community that they are in. I guess society needs to bring back that community feel for mothers.
Yeah, and no, I agree with this. And even on a national level, what changes would you like to see where things can be better put in place to support single mothers?
I guess because the nation, the government knows that there are single mothers out there, right? Although SMART has been registered and we are recognized, I guess that's a level of acknowledgement. Because with the acknowledgement comes better support, right? So I guess with the acknowledgement at national level, once policies are being implemented or being put in place, you know, a contingency should be made for single mothers. So for instance, our housing, it's supposed to be for low-income persons. What about having a specific amount set aside with that's subsidized for single mothers? What about having mental health fairs geared towards mothers and their children, so that they can be able to provide adequately for the child what is needed? Again, on a national level. What about having enough food banks? Because the amount of persons, the amount of mothers that reach out to SMART, that's so overwhelming. You would not believe the stories that we have out here, right in this Trinidad and Tobago. You would not believe the stories that we have. Sometimes we don't even know what to do, how to move forward, because of the stories and the issues and the ills that mothers face. So I guess a level of acknowledgement from the government, from the nation, that this community, it's not to say that we are impoverished. I don't want to say we're impoverished, but we need that extra push, that extra support from them.
And now, do you think, or how even workplaces can become more accommodating for single mothers?
So, going back to COVID, remember we had work from home,
right?
And it's worked out for a lot of us because we had our children at home. We had accessibility to do a job, and there were a lot of progress and work-life balance, because you're home with the children, you can be able to spend the time, etc. Now we're back to being inside. When I say inside, I mean working in offices.
Yeah.
And so getting time off, because remember, schools want parents to come in at school hours between 8 and 2.
Yeah.
Work is between 8 to 4. For a lot of us, sometimes work 6 to 6. Sometimes we are not able to get that time off to be present for our children, which ties right back into the feeling of guilt when you ask about some of the challenges that single mothers face, the feeling of guilt of not being present enough. So in the workplace, we would like to see that provision where corporate Trinidad, private Trinidad, employers are able to, we're not saying to overdo it, we're not saying to leave mothers to have leeway. We're not saying that. We're not saying that we're going to abuse the privilege.
Right.
However, know your employees, know fully well that they have to be present for the children. The same way that they themselves are present for their children, we would like to be present for our children as well. So I noticed some, and this is not all, I noticed some workplaces allows for the children to come in after school.
Yeah.
Because remember, schools finishes at 2, work finishes at 4 or 6. Where would the child go between that time period, right? And if it is, we would like to have our child close to us in order for us to know that they're safe, where the provision for children to be around us is helpful. So I've seen some workplaces provide that that's aspects for children to come. I would like to see other workplaces, other employers give that lenience and grace for single mothers.
Yeah. And now, what message would you share with single mothers who may be struggling right now?
Ask for help. Take the shame out of your face, ask for help. I know society is cruel. I know society can be unforgiving. Ask for help. There may be, sometimes our own community are the ones that refuses the help. I know I've had that experience. My own community refused the help for my children, which end up turning into a grave concern for one of my children, right? Still ask for help. Sometimes knocking on the doors of strangers can assist greatly, because you never know who you're an angel in disguise.
Yeah.
Ask for help. Know that you're not alone. There is support. Give yourself some grace. Please, give yourself some grace. Remember, you as well, you're a first-time mother. Everything happens for the first time for you. You're now seeing how to navigate certain issues. Give yourself some grace. You're growing, your child is growing. It's the first time you're going to be a parent to a teenager. It's the first time you're going to be a parent to a toddler. Give yourself some grace. Also, take a break. It's important to take a break. At the end of the day, drink a glass of wine, de-stress, right? Allow yourself to purchase that shoe. Allow yourself to purchase that top. Do your face one morning. Put on makeup. Make yourself feel good. Because when you feel good, that's when you'll be able to be better for your children. Make your children feel good. Yeah, so give yourself some grace. You're not alone. Make some time for me, for you.
That's a beautiful message that you just said there, and I really hope that person's looking on, if they may be in that struggling position right now, that they take something away from what you would say. And
definitely.
Yeah, and can you tell us, what would strength look like in the context of a single mother? Sacrifice
without recognition. We sometimes are not recognized enough.
Yeah.
On all the sacrifices that we give, showing up even when we're tired. I remember having to work a long shift and back aching, but the child needed me. And showing up even when you're tired, even when you just don't, you're overstimulated. Showing up, being present continuously for the child. So the child knows, hey, look, there's mommy. Mommy's always around. You know, that's what strength for single mothers, for mothers on a whole, look like.
Yeah. And now, as Mother's Day is approaching, what does this day mean for single mothers in particular?
I would like to say it's a day of recognition for our unseen daily sacrifices.
Yeah.
Sometimes the emotional validation really goes a long way. We feel proud to know that our children come home from school. So teachers, please don't stop. They come home from school with that little card saying Happy Mother's Day, with a little flower tucked in. We feel proud, we feel recognized, we feel validated, we feel as though what we're doing makes sense. And it should not only be subjected to one day, it should also be able to raise awareness and to advocate for single mothers in general.
Yeah. Now, thank you so much for coming on and being a part of the conversation. It was very informative, and you did share some really great highlights that I hope the viewers can take away. And, you know, make that difference today. Start today. You know, you could reach out, ask for help, and try and get back some sort of community that you can start building off small, and then, you know, it may get into something big. And now, besides SMART, are there other, let's say, facilities or places persons can reach out to in terms of wanting to get some support or join that community where you all can come together and really support each other and uplift each other in times of need?
Well, I know of a lot of women support groups that are around. I guess with research, mothers or women in general would be able to know where to go. I know that there's supposed to be a National Family Services Division within the Ministry of Social Development. I'm not sure if it's still functioning. I'm not sure. But, you know, we can, as well as persons, as individuals in society, we can seek to find out if they're still there and what services they provide, how to be engaged, how to be involved. I've seen a lot of NGOs, a lot of groups, women groups around. I mean, SMART is there to support women on a holistic level. We're there to support single mothers. We're there to support the children on a holistic level as much as we can. So persons can definitely reach out to SMART if we are readily available and willing to assist you, to give a listening ear. You know, we are there.
Yeah, thank you so much again for being a part of the conversation. Now, we are about to take a short break. When we come back, we have another engaging topic that we'd like you all to see. So stick with us.
Maybe he landed here totally by coincidence. But if by chance he's admiring your fresh coat of Benjamin Moore soft sky blue, well, that's a pretty high compliment. Coming from an expert.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378 or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
Are you driven, ambitious, and ready to earn? WESN, the content capital, is expanding, and we're looking for dynamic media sales executives to join our team. Sell powerful advertising solutions across television, digital, and social media platforms, and help brands tell their story. If you have strong communication skills, a passion for sales, and the drive to succeed, join WESN today. Send your CV to marketing@wsncc.com or WhatsApp 68-61662 and start building your future.
Pastor J, I want to get a tattoo.
You really
respond to me. Respond to me how you would respond to me.
The first question I'll ask is why?
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say, we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So here we are about to hear the second time Pastor J wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Oh gosh.
Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor J and Ren.
Hi, I am Emiliana Beechan and I am a mental health and conflict resolution consultant. Welcome to Mind Matters, the show where we explore the intricate world of mental health and the art of conflict resolution. Join us as we hear from mental health professionals, conflict resolution experts, and everyday people who have transformed their lives through understanding and communication. Mind Matters, WESN Content Capital.
In Trinidad and Tobago, cervical cancer still remains a serious health problem, ranking the third most frequent cancer among women in this country.
So you may be happily at home not knowing you might have the early signs or the early stages of cervical cancer. So the first thing is that it can be completely without any symptoms or signs.
This is 10 Questions. I'm Andy Johnson. The distance from where we should be in the world in going forward and our commitments with climate change.
The effects of climate change that cannot be accounted for, it's called loss and damage. And we're seeing loss and damage happening so much more in this decade and the previous decade.
The principal term there was this question of the correspondent banking issues.
That is why we're trying to build capacity with this country here, Trinidad and Tobago, and other countries in the region. Man is not showing any signs of stopping or even slowing down. More than half of the forest in Trinidad is already gone.
All the plants and all the animals and all of the nice clean water and fresh air and everything had to be on this planet for humanity to have a chance.
We have small change when it comes to countries that can take decisions, and when they speak, the world listens.
The General Assembly is a very democratic forum. I mean, and Trinidad and Tobago has the same vote as Canada, in spite of the obvious difference in size.
Welcome back. As we continue with our Throwback Thursday show, we turn our attention to our Time Shift segment, where we travel back in time to 1977, marking the inauguration of the first elected president of our country. This clip from the Visual Arts and Production is filled with nostalgia, education, and historical moments in our nation's history. Take a look at this.
Today, January 29, 1977, marks the dawn of a new significant era in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. On the grounds of the President's House, Port of Spain, guests are gathered for the inauguration of our first elected president, Ellis Emmanuel Innocent Clarke. Among them are the Prime Minister, Dr. Eric Williams, members of government, the judiciary, the diplomatic corps, and religious organizations. The Honorable Chief Justice Isaac Hayatali administers the oath of office.
Your Excellency, as the duly elected President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, are you ready and willing to enter upon the duties of your office on this 29th day of January in the year of our Lord 1977, and for that purpose to take and subscribe the oath of office prescribed by the Constitution?
I am.
Will you then take the Bible in your right hand and say after me? I, Ellis Emmanuel Innocent Clarke.
I, Ellis Emmanuel Innocent Clarke.
Do swear by Almighty God.
Do swear by Almighty God.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to Trinidad and Tobago.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to Trinidad and Tobago.
And to the best of my ability.
And to the best of my ability.
Preserve and defend the Constitution and the law.
Preserve and defend the Constitution and the law.
That I will conscientiously and impartially.
That I will conscientiously and impartially.
Discharge the functions of President.
Discharge the functions of President.
And will devote myself to the service and well-being of the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
And devote myself to the service and well-being of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So help me God.
Having taken the oath of office, President Ellis Clarke addresses the nation.
Almost exactly 4 years ago, on the 31st of January 1973 to be precise, I was sworn in as Governor General of Trinidad and Tobago. I took an oath that I would be faithful and true allegiance bear to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, her heirs and successors, according to law. That oath was prescribed by our 1962 Independence Constitution. In 1962, we had traveled the familiar road that leads from the dictatorship of Crown Colony government via internal self-government to the desirable goal of independence. Very shortly after independence, it was my privilege to help to secure for us our appropriate place amid the family of independent countries at the United Nations. Later, it was my good fortune to be called upon to steer us into several organizations and groupings, particularly the Organization of American States and the Inter-American Development Bank. Today, the will of the people, freely expressed, has resulted, albeit immediately, in my assuming office as the first elected president of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. How vastly different is the oath that I have just taken from that earlier one 4 years ago. The earlier oath was simply an oath of allegiance to a sovereign. Our country found no mention in it. Today, it is to Trinidad and Tobago that I have pledged to be faithful and bear true allegiance. Today, it is to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, their service and their well-being, that I have sworn to devote myself. Section 37 of our Republican Constitution requires me to take this oath before entering upon the duties of my office. None of you, my fellow citizens, is required by the Constitution to participate with me in that oath. But I beg you to pledge yourselves, here and now, silently, as I did vocally, to bear true faith and allegiance to Trinidad and Tobago. I entreat you to devote yourselves to the service and well-being of every one of our fellow citizens. I implore you to banish any sentiments, any attitudes, any preconceived notions, any concepts or ideas that might tend to divide or embitter us or alienate us one from another. I beseech you to look upon and regard every one of our fellow citizens without exception as a sister or a brother, and to act accordingly. Then, and then only, will my oath be the leaven with which our entire society is leavened. Then, and then only, will we justly reflect upon today as the dawn of a new, significant era, as a proud milestone in our history, as a blessing for our people. I pray, Almighty God, and I ask you to join in my prayer, will permit that this should come to pass. Thank you.
The traditional sound of parting O Lang Syne, played by the band of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment under Lieutenant Wade, was a fitting prelude to the occasion marking the end of the monarchical system of government in Trinidad and Tobago and the establishment of a new republic. Trinidad and Tobago, an independent nation since 1962, assumed a new status in severing its ties with the British Crown, ties which began when the island of Trinidad became a British possession in 1797. Under the country's new constitution, the person holding the office of Governor General at the commencement of the constitution shall hold the office of President until a president is elected and assumes office. The first president of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago is sworn in by the country's Chief Justice.
I shall now swear in the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
I, Ellis Emmanuel Innocent Clark, do swear by Almighty God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to Trinidad and Tobago, and to the best of my ability preserve and defend the Constitution and the law, that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge the functions of President, and will devote myself to the service and well-being of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, so help me God. I should now like to read a message which I received a short while ago from Her Majesty the Queen, until a few moments ago, the Queen of Trinidad and Tobago. On the inauguration of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and your assumption of office as President, I send you warm good wishes for the future and for the welfare and prosperity of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. It is a source of great satisfaction to me that your country remains within the Commonwealth. I am confident that the friendly ties between the people of Britain and Trinidad and Tobago will be maintained and strengthened in the coming years. Elizabeth Regina.
A warm greeting from the Prime Minister who steered the country towards republicanism. The new president graciously receives the congratulations of other government ministers and the delighted guests. The new republic was ushered in on August 1st, 1976, and the previous symbols representing our association with the British Crown must be removed, being replaced by the new symbols representing our new republican status. Similarly, A new presidential standard must replace the former Governor-General standard. The President's standard, the country's coat of arms bordered by a laurel wreath of 11 petals on either side on a blue background, is unique to that office. Unfurled on a vehicle or a building, it signifies the presence of His Excellency.
Mr. President, thank you for granting the Government Film Unit this short interview. And through this wonderful medium of film, you have the opportunity of speaking not only to our citizens resident here, but also to our nationals, wherever they may reside in the world abroad. They would want to hear from you, I think, of the significant differences between your being President of this new republic and your previous position as Governor General.
Well, first of all, before I answer your question strictly, let me say that I am grateful for this opportunity of perhaps clarifying a situation that is not as simple as one might assume it to be, and I therefore welcome the chance to say that the major change is that the President of Trinidad and Tobago is the head of state of the country. The Governor General was the representative of a foreign head of state. The Queen of England was Queen of Trinidad and Tobago, and of course of several other countries. And the Governor General of Trinidad and Tobago, although often referred to as the head of state, was really the representative of Her Majesty. Now Trinidad and Tobago has its own head of state. And I think this is important. It's a matter of substance. It's also a matter that is symbolical of the, shall I call it, adulthood of the nation. We have grown up. We now have our own head of state. In addition, the President has certain powers and duties that the Governor General did not have. While the President is not an executive president, he does have a number of duties, particularly in the field of making appointments. And many of these are key appointments, so that there is some dilution of the power formerly possessed by the Prime Minister and the transfer of a certain portion of the Prime Minister's power to the President. For instance, the President formerly made many appointments acting in accordance with the advice of the Prime Minister, and therefore he was, so to speak, the Governor General was a rubber stamp for this purpose. General, yes. The Governor General, I mean, but the President will be making these appointments after the consultation with the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition or other persons, as the case may be, and he acts essentially in his own discretion. To that extent, therefore, there is a change of substance, and one which I personally think is clearly for the benefit of the country as a whole.
Thank you, sir. Am I right in saying, sir, that you have been associated with the constitutional development of this country and were largely responsible for our 1962 Constitution by which we attained independence? How early did you foresee a republican form of government by this country? And would you say this change to a republican form of government is a natural progression of the constitutional changes over the last few years?
Well, I really became associated with the constitutional process in the year 1956. I was then acting Attorney General, and constitutional changes were taking place. And drafts of the changes were exchanged between the Colonial Office and the Attorney General's Department, and I was involved then. I was thereafter involved in all the constitutional changes that took place until 1962. And in fact, I did the first draft of the 1962 Independence Constitution, and I was in fact at Marlborough House for the Independence Conference. So I had quite a bit to do with that. Now, in doing the draft, the first draft of it, obviously, I chose the monarchical system and not the republican system. This is very simply explained. I don't think the time was right. I don't think the time was right. I have no doubt that many of our citizens, perhaps because of our proximity to Latin America, thought of a republic in terms of chaos, in terms of a lack of law and order, in terms of a deprivation of human rights and many other matters. And therefore I thought at the time that while a republican form of government was the appropriate one for us and would be so eventually, one had to move cautiously. It was better to take 2 bites at that particular cherry and to move on to independence first. I remember there were lots of fears even about that, lots of apprehensions, and then to change as we've now done. So this in effect answers your question, whether I think of it as a natural progression. I most certainly do.
How do you, Mr. President, as a man, feel about your elevated position, the highest office in the Republic? What does the presidency mean to you?
Well, the presidency means to me an opportunity to serve my people. I think that all of us have a duty to be good citizens. Obviously, we can't serve in the same ways. We all have different roles assigned to us. I think fate has happened to assign this particular role to me, and therefore I must do the best I can. It would be disingenuous of me to say that I wasn't pleased to be the first president of the Republic. But on the other hand, I think it's just that fate that happened to select me, and I simply have to do whatever I can, like everybody else, to do my best for my people.
Mr. President, one final question. You have stated what the presidency means to you. I am sure our citizens would like to hear your views on what the new Republic of Trinidad and Tobago should mean to them.
Well, I think the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago should mean to them a country which they love, a country which they are prepared to serve. I think that hitherto we have been lacking in a vital quality, and that is patriotism. I should hope that this change to a republic will enable us to think of ourselves as one people and to think of our country as a place to which we're absolutely devoted and dedicated. If our people can get this from being a republic, then I think the change is more than justified.
Thank you very much, sir.
What a nostalgic moment. Now, I hope you did take away a great lesson that our country, Trinidad and Tobago, has come a long way. And it's really moments like these where we get to look back and be a part of what went down that helped shape into how the country is today. Now, as we wrap up today's segment, as I always say, stay informed, stay safe, stay positive. Up next, we do have Sean Michael Small with Talking Points at 8, so you'd want to come back for that. And I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Bye.
WESN.
Bill and Ruth fell in love with the Benjamin Moore color dry sage.